We're going to move on to the Valpolicella Ripasso here. Ripasso style of wine is something that I sometimes enjoy, I sometimes don't. It depends upon the producer, but tell us a little bit about this wine.
Yeah, this is our single vineyard. Is Capitel Della Crosara is the name of the vineyard. Is three dialect words. Capitel, it's a tiny stone that in Valpolicella sometimes you can find in the field. And normally in the front of this stone is painted or drawn the face of Madonna, the mother of Jesus.
Yes, yes.
That in the past the farmer used to pray for good harvest, healthy, or please, when I back home, my wife has to be cute with me, not fight or something. Normally we pray every day. And Della means of, Crosara means cross, because on top of the hill we are around 450 meters on the sea level. In the top of the hill there is two fields away that cross exactly where is located this stone. At the beginning I told you that Garda Lake, it's really important to understand some wine of Valpolicella. This is the case of our Ripasso, because if you test, it's of course you enjoy the typical aromas of the Ripasso with a little bit of you feel a little bit of the touch of dry grapes, a touch of Amarone. So it's a complex wine with a good percentage of alcohol, but at the same time, it's probably, if my grandfather is still alive, he kill me. But you can discover an acidity more typical for a white wine as a red wine.
I see.
This came from the area. Why? During the day, we have the air direction that came from the Garda Lake. Garda Lake has a totally different microclimate compared to the rest of the region. Veneto, now with the global warming, everything is changed, but Veneto in the past was a really cold region.
Yeah.
In the winter, we have a -5, -10.
Yeah.
And for Italy, it's really cold. Now,
I've been there in the winter, I know.
Yeah. It was a really cold. Now everything, this year, it's something like normal, but not like in the past. So Garda Lake normally was from 5 to 8 degrees more to the rest of the region. So arrived this warm air from the Garda Lake during the day. In the night, the direction change came from north. In the north of Verona, we have the pre-Dolomite and the Dolomite, so high mountain, 2,000–3,000 meters, so cold air. This means that in between February, March to June, it's months really important for the plant to start the production of the fruits. We have a day really warm, so the plant push power to making fruits. In the night, happen that the plant stay quiet, don't use energy to push in the fruit, but never forget that we are in the hill, so we have a hydric problem. We have not too much water.
Yes.
So what to do the plant in the night? Grow the roots. So in this area we have roots really deep, and these roots bring a lot of mineral from the soil that we discover on the hand in the wine, and this we obtain a really rich, full body wine, but at the same time really agreeable, really easy drinking, that not cover the food.
Would it be fair to say that not all Valpolicella share this kind of vibrancy and acidity that you have in this wine here?
Yes, the last 20 years, many producers decide to push in the concentration. So
yes, exactly.
In the nose and in the mouth. It's not our philosophy. Always, for what I told you at the beginning, for us, wine has to be always enjoyable. Means that I don't want to see my consumer, my customers, drink a bottle of my wine, drink one glass, and then need a glass of sparkling water to clean them out. The wine has to be enjoyed at the same time as to clean them out for the food, or for if I'm lacking another glass of a wine.
Now, I think it would also be fair to say that that explosion in the popularity of Ripasso was to do with those producers making those more full-bodied wines, and it was fulfilling that trend for people liking those big full-bodied wines, because Ripasso, again, exhibits amazing value for money, I would say.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one here is definitely much more a kind of food-oriented Valpolicella Ripasso. It does have a lift to it that does make you want to go back for a second glass, for sure. It does have all of that beautiful fruit from Valpolicella, for sure, but very, very lifted fruit. Now, for those people, just in case people don't know, perhaps you would care to explain the Ripasso process.
The Ripassos process, it's complicated, easy at the same moment.
Yes.
But just because at the beginning I told you that I talk a lot, I have to tell you a little bit the story of Ripasso, because why we invented this system. Because Valpolicella area is crazy, because we produce 4 different types of wine with the same grapes.
Yes.
Change the system of fermentation of production. It's, of course, we have the regular Valpolicella made with Corvina, Rondinella, and Molinara. Is a simple vinification of red wine. We crush the grapes, we do fermentation and vinification. Some producers use the wood, some producers use only the still for the vinification. Then we have the other famous, the last one that we will test today, the Amarone. Amarone is made with 100% dry grapes. What has happened? In September, when we had the harvest, that when I was young, the harvest of Amarone grapes was in the middle of October, but everything is changed. And the 50% of the grapes we use to produce Valpolicella, so crush, fermentation, vinification. The other 50% we storage in our granary. We have an historic granary in the winery where we leave the grape for 3, 4, 5 months, depend of the year, to dry. We know that the grapes are ready when they lose some, more or less 50, 60% of the white, so really concentrated. When arrive this moment, normally it's January, we crush the grapes, we bring the juice, and we produce Amarone. So Amarone made with 100% dry grapes. But in January happened another thing. Happened the making of Ripasso, because after the press, we bring the skins, the residual skins of Amarone, that, remember that we press softly the skin of Amarone. So remaining residual aromas, sugar in the skin of Amarone, we bring this skin and we put in the tank, steel tank, where we have the Valpolicella that we start to produce in September. That in January is ready, finished to fermented, finish the fermentation and vinification. And some of this Valpolicella we filter and we bottling and we sell as Valpolicella. Apart of Valpolicella, we leave with the yeast inside. When we put the skins of Amarone inside, what is happened? The yeast feel new sugar and oh wow, party! They start a second fermentation. From this system came the name Ripasso. Ripasso means like a second passage. So start a second fermentation that in easy way make it 2 things. The first one, increase the alcohol, the volume of alcohol. From 12, 12.5, you arrive at 14, 14.5. Yes. But the second thing, the most important, the second fermentation fix the aromas typical of Amarone in the Valpolicella. So you obtain a wine in the middle. This is important to understand why Montresor still maintain the philosophy of this Ripasso concentrated, but with a nice acidity, because we have a 3-step. Valpolicella easy drinking, Ripasso medium body, Amarone full body. This is the traditional way. And Ripasso was invented from the farmers of the area for a easy reason. I told you that the Veneto was a really cold region, so it was really difficult to grow grapes with a high content of sugar.
Yes.
So the big part of the wine that we produce here has a low alcohol. To make wine with a bigger alcohol, higher alcohol, so with the body most concentrated, the only way was dry the grapes, Amarone, but it's really expensive. So the Ripasso was invented to produce a wine with a big body but cheaper, using the skin of Amarone. I hope it to be clear, because the Ripasso sometimes is not so easy to explain the process, because
now you were mentioning there were 4 types of wine.
Yeah.
And the 4th one would be Recioto, right?
Is the Recioto, correct, Jenny? And the Recioto is, few people knows, but the Recioto is the father of Amarone. Many people think that Amarone is the father of all the wines in Valpolicella. No, it's not true. The Recioto is the father. It was the first wine produced in the area. In the past, the Roman they call Acinaticum, because I love. What I love of the wine that you connect with many different aspects of the life, food, private life, many things. So I'm in love about the history in general that touch the Italian food, Italian wine. And you know, 2,000 years ago, when started the Roman Emperor in Rome, in the center of Italy, when the Romans start to conquer every part of Italy, normally when they arrive in a location, they do 2 things, 3 to be honest. The first one, kill everybody.
Yeah.
The second was build a defense village that they called castrum.
Yes.
The third thing that few people knows, they plant grapes. Why? Because for Roman, the wine was really important because it was like the gas for the soldier. Imagine the battle 2,000 years ago with the sword and the shield. It's like in the First World War for the troop that fight in the Dolomite. They drink grappa to have a little bit drunk,
I can imagine, yes.
And a little bit courage. And never forget that the wine is easy way to give calorie to the people. And so they arrive here, and when they arrive here, they was wow, but there is grapes. We don't need plants. And the grapes that they found was varietal. That is the varietal that we have now. Corvina, Rondinella, probably a little bit different because in the time change everything.
Yes, yeah.
And but they was surprised for one thing, that the varietal that they found here had a little difference to the rest of the varietal that they found in they use, and the difference was the skin. Corvina, Rondinella, Molinara has a bigger skin compared to the other varietal. And you ask me why they was happy for that, because during the Roman Emperor, one of all the food was covered with a sauce that they call garum. Was something that probably if they serve us, we probably we vomit, because it was made with a fermented fish in the cask. The liquid that go out was this garum to make really acid the food. To balance this acidity, during the Roman Empire, it was normal see people, the slave, pour wine in the cup, and another slave pour honey to make sweeter the wine,
right? Okay.
To balance with the acidity of the food. So when they arrived here, they found this big skin. They say, oh, we can dry. Because the problem to dry the grapes, arrive to dry 5 months, is that you have to be sure that the skin never broke.
Yes.
If the skin broke, start a bad muffle that destroyed all the granary. So they start to produce this Acinaticum that was a sweet wine. And what is happened? Happened that the legend said that a farmer forgot a bottle, a fiasco, a cask of Recioto sweet wine in the cellar. Probably was a really hot summer, the temperature cellar growing up, they don't have the filter that we have now. So probably the yeast start a second fermentation.
I was about to say, yeah.
Develop the sugar in alcohol, and when they tested, they said, "Oh my God, I don't like it. It's bitter." Amarone,
Right. Yeah.
in Italian means bitter, a lot bitter. Amarone, amaro, bitter. Amarone, a lot bitter. But if you test Amarone, Amarone is not bitter. It's bitter compared to the sweetness of Recioto. At the beginning, they call this wine, because they consider a mistake, they don't like it, they call Recioto Scapà. Scapà, in my dialect from Verona, means run away. Then they understood...
Like scarper in English, it's the same word.
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. Then, after many years, because, you know, the Italian people, you know, is like a stone. Before understand that something is wrong, they need years. See the last presidents that we have in our government. Sorry for this.
No, I'm okay with that.
It's delete everything, and so they increase the taxes of the gates. It's they understood that the wine was not so bad, so they changed the name from Recioto Scapà to Recioto Amaro, Recioto bitter. But in the 60s, some producer of the area decided to change the name because in the export market was difficult for the final consumer understand. Recioto Amaro, for many countries, Amaro means nothing. They buy the wrong wine. So they changed the name from Recioto Amaro to Amarone della Valpolicella.
Which brings us rather neatly to this wine here.